First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. We're going to go to school a little bit, folks. If you remember here, what we talk about every day is AB equals CD and 382. If you have to do it, that's the one to do. Look at this beautiful ABCD in the Russell, folks. Now, I want you to do your homework. I want you to do the ABCD on the 15-minute, do it on the NASDAQ, do it on the S&P, do it on the Dow, each one of those. Well, the S&P and the NASDAQ made well over $1,000 from the D point already. The Dow Jones has only made about 750. But that's an ABCD. That's what we wait for. Now, we don't always get them, but when they line up like that, they sure do work. And that's the whole key to what we're looking at. I've got a bunch of questions to answer for today, so we'll get on to those in just a minute. But remember, your homework is to go look at the 15-minute on the Dow E-mini, look at it on the E-mini S&P, and look at it on the the NASDAQ, and you'll see the same pattern unfolding, over and over again. But because you're such nice people, what we're going to do is we're going to take you on a trip across the pond, folks. We're going to go over to see the Queen herself. We're going over to London, England, and we're going to put up the chart of the FTSE here. Even though the FTSE is mostly international stocks over there, you'll see there's the big ABCD, and we've already started, to roll over. Now, we're going to get back on the plane and go across the channel there, and we're going to go over to hang on, boys and girls. We're not going to cross the channel. We're going to go north of England up to Germany, and we're going to take a look here at the German DAX, and we'll get up here. You can see it's actually a lot clearer because it's a more heavily traded. I mean, this thing it's probably 10 times. I don't know what the number is, actually. I shouldn't say that, but I would assume that the DAX is far, far more liquid than the FTSE. But you can see here we had the beautiful ABCD there, the 3 drive to a top pattern, big sell-off already today. So, we'll see how that works. But, little by little, we meddle in the middle. Just remember, folks, these patterns are for risk assessment. They don't always work. When they fail, stand aside and have no pride, because if you have pride goeth before the fall, that will do it for you, because these patterns fail, and they fail badly. Now, let me give you my real sad story of the day. This is embarrassing, but I got to get it told. So we had an order in last night, and I want to get it up here to show you how the old cowboy made a mistake of money management. Okay, there is the beautiful 3 drive to a drop pattern there at 666 in the corn. We sent this out, and long before this happened, we were way down here when this occurred. So we got up to this level here, and then on the opening, the market jumped 4 cents, stopped us out right on the high, and then proceeded to drop $1,000. Now, it broke down. Now, if we follow our game plan, if we break down, what should we look for? Okay, Johnny, you're in the back of the room. You want to raise your hand? Yes. Yes, you want to wait for a 382 retracement. And guess what we had? We had a nice little 382 retracement that would have gotten half of our money back. Only lost $200, but by golly, it's frustrating when you have a perfect order in and it gets whacked off. Several people will ask me, could that be a fact that those orders were sitting in there? Possibly, yes. But the fact that, corn is such a big market, I don't really believe that. It's a huge market. There's people on both sides of that all day long banging against the window. So they know that these things are, really, really important. Now, yesterday we talked with Jeff Huge of Alpha Insights, and I want to bring to your attention here the chart of Microsoft one more time, because Microsoft has one of the most bearish patterns that you could possibly get. And remember, this is one of the biggest stocks in the Dow. Look at this. This is a 50% retracement off of the high, okay? 61% retracement off the high right here, okay? And look what it does, folks. For 8 days, it goes up there, and in one day, everybody that's bought it in the last week and a half now has a loss. That's not a good sign. Now, we've taken out yesterday's low by just a little bit, but we haven't had much of a rally yet. My assumption is if we do get a rally, it's going to be quite meager. This is really a bearish pattern, folks. I mean, stop and think how they trapped everybody here. Even over here, you can see here, you didn't have the island reversal. Close, but not clear as this one was. I mean, this was just as clear as a bell. So you want to remind yourself that this Microsoft, if you get a 382 retracement back up in here somewhere, that's probably a good place to short. But frankly, I'm not a stock trader, so I'm just not involved in that. So let's remind ourselves that's what we're looking at right here. Okay, we got the Dow Jones now has backed off a little more than 150 points off the high. The S&P about 35 handles, so we're backing off just a little bit. Crude oil is reaching a very, very critical level, folks. If you wanted to short crude oil, we're trading here at, I believe, 94.38 as I see it. And that is a pretty good spot for a low-risk trade. So if you wanted to do that, that's one that I would do. Your risk is going to be about 50 pips or 500 handles. 500, well, not handles, $500. So that's what I would be doing if I were doing anything in the crude oil today. And with me, when I'm on the air like this, I will not. I try not to put in any trade because I want to be able to make sure I get the proper execution. And when you're trying to do two things at once, not a good sign, all the time. So that's mainly it. So those are the main things that we're looking at here this morning. I wanted to do one other thing. We have several other really good questions today. One of them is about the euro. And I think we need to cover that, and we are going to cover that. So let's get it up here in just a second, and we'll get her ready to go. I've just got so many of them to look at that it makes it, I've got to do natural gas and a few others, so we'll get all of these done as we go through here. We got to talk about Peloton, and we got to talk about the standard deviation. My gosh, look at this, folks. If you like, those of you that have purchased the Floor Traders Handbook, you'll see here why these dudes are out there with their money. And this is a really important one, because if this fails, oh boy, if this fails, there's your one standard deviation, folks. 4110, I believe is what it was. And there it was right there, right on the tip. And that was one standard deviation down from the high. Now, if we go below that, and I think we will eventually, then you're setting up for 2 standard deviations and 3 standard deviations. These numbers are very important because these algorithmic traders, they use them. We're going to take a break. 877-927-6648.
Of booming inflation, where your purchasing power is eroded, there's no better place to protect your hard-earned money than in gold. Vista Gold's flagship asset is the Mount Todd Gold Project in the Northern Territory of Australia. This is Australia's largest undeveloped gold project. We are talking a world-class gold project in a Tier 1 mining district. This is a large-scale, low-cost project with significant existing infrastructure in a politically safe and friendly mining jurisdiction. Vista Gold just completed the Mount Todd feasibility study, which resulted in a 7 million ounce gold reserve and a 16-year mine life. All of this, combined with the approvals of all major operational as well as environmental permits. This distinguishes Mount Todd as an attractive, de-risk partner, ready development stage gold project. Vista Gold trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol VGZ.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I've posted the chart of the corn up here. You can see we had the big break, dropped to $1,000, 20 cents, and we rallied back right up to the 382, and that's giving you 4 cents if you're in it. So that would have got your 4 cents back of the stop that you had in, placed by the monumental heir of the said speaker today, none other than Billy Ray Valentine, Capricorn. When I saw that fill, I just literally wanted to throw up, because by the time I got the fill back, it was already trading 9 cents under the price. So that was a little frustrating, but you know, this is what this is all about. Some days it's chicken salad, some days it's chicken poop. You just never know when it's going to be. Let's get back to what we want to talk about, folks, is the euro. Everybody's talking about the euro. We're going to start out here doing something simple. We're going to do a little pattern seldom known by anybody, but it's called the AB equals CD pattern. Now, this is the weekly. You can see here, what we're watching here is we're watching for an ABCD. This is the area right around 95. We're trading at 99 and change right now. You can see there's your ABCD to the downside. There's your 382 retracement, if you'll remember. Okay, and then this is the weekly, and we've been down, 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 down. We're still going down, and we're getting ready to get into this area right here, which is going to be important. Anytime you're starting to look at a weekly chart, you also have to go and use the monthly chart. The reason why is it's going to give you a better idea if there's any patterns out there that look really, really interesting, okay? Now, here's one we're going to be looking at right now. I'm going to spend some time with this because this was a pattern that we used quite a few times, both on the way up and on the way down. But let's take a look at it. This is the weekly chart. If you'll remember, you can see here we had a 3 drive to a top pattern. This was perfect. It was the same thing on the weekly, same thing on the daily. There's your 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive. And we're going to cover this here next because I remember it most vividly. This is where we were when we were looking at this. This is nothing more than a 3 drive to a top pattern. What that is, the market comes down, goes up. Now look at this. There's your 1, 3, 5 pattern on the downside. You got equal time. This is a monthly, folks. Got to pay attention when you see it on the monthly. There's where we are. There's where we are. There's where we are. Okay. And look at this. We come down and we're already below the 78% level on the long-term monthly chart. That tells us that we're getting ready to go a little bit lower. So let's take this just a step further, okay? Because I think it's important that we learn from our mistakes, and believe me, our mistakes take us to where we want to go, and we'll get it up here to show you why that level at that 135 pattern was so very important. We'll get it up here so you can see it. And there we go. There it is right there. Look, it pulls back to a 3 rate, exactly to the 382 retracement. Folks, it took 10 months. 10 months to make a 382 retracement. Shut the front door and raise the rent. I mean, you got to pay attention to that. Look at that. And then from there, she goes all the way up to 160 and change. Remember, in 2000, when my grandson was born, the euro was trading at 86. Of course, 98 was the first year that they broke away from the Deutschmark. They did it in stages, of course, and moved over to the euro. I'm sure they've sadly wish they could get back to Deutschmarks, but they can't now. Anyway, you can see here we're heading lower, and it looks like we're heading somewhere between 95 and 93 in the euro. Now, what we're going to do tomorrow, by the way, our guest today, Stan Harley, had to move over to Friday. He'll be on Friday because he's very busy today. You can imagine all the stuff going on in the market. So what we'll be watching here is the other currencies we're going to be looking at on the show for Tom O'Brien at 3 o'clock. I'll be covering for him on Wednesday, Thursday, and also on Monday. And we'll talk about some of these longer-term patterns that we see in the foreign exchange markets because, as Bernstein and Woodward said, follow the money. And so that's what we're going to try to do. Anyway, so that's what we're watching here in the euro. Okay, now the next one we want to talk about is something that's in the news all the time, and yet people just don't realize the amount of risk some people took with these things, and it's just truly, absolutely, truly amazing to me. This one's in the news right now. I want to get this up here to show you the patterns that were involved, if you like patterns. And anybody that likes patterns, raise their hand. Larry's got his hand raised. Okay, here is Peloton, folks. Here's the high. Look at this. Look at the ABCD at the top, folks. Look at the retracement here. There was your 382 right here. Then it comes down, takes that high out by just a little bit at the 50% level. And then boom, look at this one. This was the one that was your key right here. You see how the market rallies about 10 days and stops exactly at the 382? And look what happened right after that, the next day or so. News came out. And look what it's done, folks. We've gone from, 120 down to 10 or some ridiculous amount, 12. I mean, I just can't imagine. Well, what am I talking about? That's how I learned this business. I did the same thing in 1974. Oh, by the way, those of you that are fans of Julian Robinson, he passed away today at the age of 90. And there's some really good stuff on him, so Google it. I would put it in here, but I don't want to mess everybody's emails up and stuff like that. So Julian Robinson, it was just unbelievable. Great career, 90 years old. I retired at 88, and his Tiger Cubs, it was, Tiger Financial. I mean, Tiger Cubs have all been, very, very successful because he mentored them, for quite some time. So very sad to see him pass away, but what a wonderful life and legacy that he lived. He was well loved by everybody. I never met the man. And so I don't know much about him other than the fact that he was extremely, extremely successful. And that's one of the things that we wanted to, remind ourselves of. We've got to be really, really thankful for what we are. Folks, I've been so lucky. I mean, give me a break. I really have. I mean, for an old cowboy or farmer coming out of Terre Haute, Indiana, I just got some lucky breaks along the way. And I just really did. I stumbled across it, and I was just able to be there at the right time. And speaking of being there at the right time, let's go out into Sherwood Forest and talk to Robin Hood himself. We're going to bring up the chart here of Robin Hood. Here's another one that we have a really good story to tell you on this. This is Robinhood. Of course, it opened, back up in here, and it had a little bit of a break in here. And at this spot right there, one of our listeners from Georgia, down there in Macon, Georgia, happened to call me, and he said, look, I'm in this stock. I'm scared to death. And I said, where did you buy it? He said, I bought it the day that it started to open right here. And he said, I've made a lot of money, but I've given half of it back, and I'm scared to death. I said, well, you have just sounded the number one signal of all times, and that is being scared to death. Sell that SOB and get out. And he did. And look what happened. It dropped by 90%. 10-4, Rubber Duck. We'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metal sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, I posted a chart of the crude oil trade I just talked about, selling it there. You can see that's where we sold. It was a 61% retracement of this move right here. The reason for the sell was just because of this. I posted the AI, the artificial program, just to show you that it did a pretty good job. There was your low that came in, and the high, even though it's a lower high, came in right here. So as long as it doesn't get above here, so there's your risk factor right there, about 40 cents. $400. But if you're right, and if you're right, you could be looking at A, B, C, D down to the promised land. And that, my friends, is a 5-to-1 payoff, and those are the kind that you like to see. So it may not work, but if it does, and if it does, it should be a good one. But it should start down right about now. And if it doesn't, you're going to lose $400. Anyway, that's what we're paying attention to. I hope that helps. I just wanted to go through that. All of these things that I'm doing here with these AIs, I mean, stuff, and they're just basically the key times of the day for all of these things. Now, they shift. You know, the day for Wednesday is different than the day for Monday, but the day for Monday is different from the day from Friday. The reason why, which I'll cover in my all-day trading thing that's going to be on September 20th, why it skips a beat. We don't know that, but we do know that it skips a beat. And that means the key days on Monday are not going to be on Tuesday. They're going to be on Wednesday or Friday. And that's why we're watching this here in the crude oil today as we're going through these levels. Folks, things have changed a lot since I first started trading. You know, we didn't have these algorithmic traders and all this stuff. They had the information, but until the computers came to show them, you know, this stuff repeats so much that you got to pay attention to it. That's why, you know, we look at the ABCDs and we watch the standard deviations, because these algorithmic traders are using those, and I'm just repeating what I'm seeing from what they're looking at today. That's all I'm doing. I don't do anything more exciting than that. You know, there's nothing really that I would call exciting for that, except for the fact that we've got the stock indices not too far from the low of the day now. And remember, that was a big ABCD up there, boys and girls, so let's pay attention to that, because if we get much above it, then we're looking at something, you know, very, very sinister. By the way, the stop loss on that crude oil would be exactly 40 pips, folks. You got to risk 40 pips from 94.49. That's the way you have to play it. No other way of looking at it. But, you know, folks, the low that we made here now, let's just get this up here so we'll be able to remind ourselves that we made it. In fact, I've got to do a couple of really long-term ones here for just a second, but let me get this over to you so you can take a look at it, because this is what we looked at last week, because it was so very, very important. And this is the crude oil on the daily charts. We'll get this up here to look at it, and we'll be able to see where we are right here. And there we go. Someone's asked me a question. Why don't I use the 200-day, 50-day, 400-day, 500-day, 1,000-day? No, I'm bringing it out. Folks, I don't use any oscillators. I don't use any moving averages or anything like that. Some of the best traders that I ever watched never used them, and they're lagging indicators. So by the time you get a 200-day moving average to turn, you know, God help you where you could be. You know, so that's why I don't use it. I keep it as simple as possible, folks, honest to God. It's just AB equals CD. Give me a break. I mean, go back and look at what Mandelbrot said. Everything works with that seed pattern, which is AB equals CD. And, you know, you can talk about Elliott wave, or I have nothing against Elliott wave. It's just that I have a difficulty on the way that they do their counts. I don't believe that there's a 5-wave. I believe it's 3-wave. AB equals CD, just like you see in this pattern right here. That is a completed pattern. I don't care what the Elliott wave people call it. That's an ABCD coming in at a 61% retracement of the low we made last month. That's what it is. Nothing more, nothing less. So since we're talking about that, let's move on and talk about another one that's out here that we've already covered. The Microsoft, we've covered the corn. Here's another one. This is another one that we've been so bearish on this for such a long time. I want to get it up here so you'll be able to see it. Here's where you are. There's where you'll be. You'll see this beautiful pattern that's here. We're almost down there. We're way below the 61. So the ABCD, this is a 382 up here. Remember, folks, that was 46. And here we are down at 36 now. That's 10 grand. And this is, daily chart. So this has dropped quite a bit. Sorry about that. 46 was up here, but there's your 10 grand coming down to this level right here at around 35 and change, I believe, or right at the 78% retracement. Remember, Einstein said mathematics before geometry, so you got to pay attention to that. So mathematics tells you that number down there is AB equals CD. That's also geometry too, however, but it's going to be somewhere between that number and the 786 would be my guess. And all we're going to do is just get a rally, folks. Remember, this was a 382 in a massive bear market. You remember 2.5 years ago, it was 2019, they were telling us about negative interest rates, bonds at 200. They were trading at 180 or something like that. And to me, I just could not, and I couldn't get anybody to even let me explain to him how, by common sense, that was such a silly idea. Giving someone your money with no guarantee that you're going to get it back, and you have to pay them for holding it. Hello, operator. No, knock on wood, for God's sake. That's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. So that's why, I think common sense once in a while makes a little sense. I swear to God, I mean, all these people were telling me it doesn't make any difference. This and they, it's different this time. Yep, it's different this time because of the U.S. dollar being so weak. Well, where's the U.S. dollar now, boys and girls? Hello, operator. It's way up in the air. That's for sure. That's what you're waiting to see. Now, I had one other stock that I needed to talk about here. I covered the Russell. Where is the other one? We got to get to the natural gas and the euro. Okay, the euro. Let's get back to the euro because where we are right now, and we will get this up here because this happened very quickly today. Yesterday we saw this, very easily, but we'll look at it here again today. There's where we were, there. Yesterday we went up. We made the pattern here, made the 382, came all the way down, and then the market rallied up to the 78% level today, sold off a little bit from there, but that's a really key number. Now, if we can get above that, which is a little above, I think it's 10 par 98 or something like that, if we can get above that, then that tells us that we made some type of a minor bottom and we might get a bounce. These currencies are so oversold. I haven't seen them this oversold since Hector was a pup, and that dog's going on 9 years old today. So, and today's his birthday, by the way. So, send a nice present. Just go to Hector, GoFundMe, Hector.com, and we'll be happy to take the money and buy some nice premier dog food for our good old pal Hector. Folks, I'm in my 80s. Do you know I've never had a pet? Nothing. No, cheerleaders don't count. I've never had a goldfish, a cat, a dog, a deer, a cow, a pig, nothing. Oh, I have had a few horses, but I bet on those. I didn't have to take them home. I did own a horse once. I owned a horse for 2 months with Leroy Linhart and Bob Gilmillion, and it was $1,000 each a month to keep that horse going. And at the end of the 3 months, I was out $3,500. And I said, I've had enough of being in the sport of kings. And so I let them continue the ownership. They ended up breaking even, but it was still a lot of fun. 877-927-6648.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Okay, folks, what we're watching here is a chart that was given to us yesterday by Jeff Hughes of Alpha Insights. I thought it was the best chart that I've seen in a long time. This is the cash S&P. He talks about it as a bear market rally. The rally has peaked. You can see the 135 pattern, 135. This is right at the 78% level of this, 61% of that. And look what it's done, folks. You see those little red circles? That means as an island reversal. That is a bad, bad pattern. The reason why it's trapped everybody that's bought it over the last trading days, over the last week and a half. Remember, the Federal Reserve was feeding us the tapioca and about everything great was going to be. And, of course, they'll change everything, change all their minds today. But the good part is, if we ever get above this, even I will be a buyer, believe it or not. If we can get above that, I will be a buyer. Until that time, I think we're looking at A, B, C, D down here around 2,200 in the S&P. Whether that's going to be the factor or not, I don't know. All I know is that this is a very, very, very bearish pattern. It's just absolutely extremely bearish. You stop and think, folks. They trapped everybody up here. And for no reason at all, the market starts down. I mean, hello, operator. I mean, that's the main thing. That's why I'm a technician, folks. Don't have to worry about that stuff with the old, the one that we're watching all the time. Now, I wanted to bring one other chart that he talked about yesterday because we talked about it today, and I'm going to talk about it again in just a second because I wanted to bring it up to you on a little bit longer time frame, and he does a beautiful chart on this. This is the natural gas. You'll see here, we had this. There was a 3 drive to a top pattern right here, folks. 1, 2, 3. Then we come down all the way, stopping at the 61% retracement. We make this bottom down in here. I don't believe it's not a island reversal bottom, but it's a very nice bottom. And then we made the pullback here. This was exactly 382. We've covered that here on the show. We're looking at $12 to $14 in natural gas. We've hit $10 and backed off. We did it again today. And the market immediately backs off about $6,000. I mean, it goes up and down like you can't believe. But let's get the other part of it up here so that we can see the darn thing. And I wanted to show you, here's where we go here. There's where we're at. We're right into business now, going into the shorter term. This is why natural gas is so fun to trade on a 15-minute chart. It's like the old bellies. Look at this beautiful pattern here, folks. Beautiful 3 drive pattern on a 15-minute chart. Look at this. Your legs here, these legs are equal. Basically, they're equal. Stops right at the 618. That makes this a perfect A, B, C, D, right up there at the top. Bada bing, bada boom. And look at this. You see this little nichey, twitchy thing right here? What do you think that is? Anybody in the classroom would like to Tell me what it is. Oh, there's Abigail Doolittle in the back of the class. Yes, Abigail. 382. It's a 382, Abigail. Good for you. And what we're going to do is now show it to you, if I can find it. So bear with me. There's the key. Oh, hold on. No, I'm not on medication or anything like that. I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun. That's all. Just get it up here to see where we are. And that's not it. So looks like I've lost it in all of the, no, maybe not. There it is. I got it. Hold on right here. Oh, no. Here comes the old, shucks. U.S. government 202 wanting money for the old. Sorry, folks. Forgot to take it off the hook, and Sarah's gone. So hold on. Let me get this up here. Bear with me. Sorry about that. Doggone it. You can't understand it. Here, there's the 382 I wanted to point out to you on the smaller time frame. See, there was your 3 drive. Finish of that. There's your 382. You came down, folks. You went up to it again and backed off. You went up to that 382 and it backed off again. So these numbers are good. These are the numbers that the algorithmic traders use. So you want to pay very, very close attention to them. Remember, tomorrow's guest is none other than me. We don't have a guest tomorrow. Try to get Paula Webb on, but she's Paula Douglas, but she's very busy. But today, Stan Harley was supposed to be on. He'll be on Friday. Next week, we will have Jeff Hughes on Monday. And I think we're going to have Norm Winsky again, possibly, but I have to wait and see if that's going to be the case. So let me move here on to see where we are. Oh, dear. Now, the crude oil is working pretty good. I just had the beeper that the first profit objective in the crude oil just was hit. We just made $500. So if you're in it, and if you're in it, you put your stop at break even, folks, at 94.47. And you'll be a happy camper because you've already made 5 large. You might as well wait and see if you're going to get another couple of bucks. We don't know, do we? These markets are for predicting and for risk control. That's what they're looking at. So let's remind ourselves that's where we are right now. So you should be at the very worst, at break even or booking your $500 right now. I would say if you had 2 contracts on, you book half of it right now. If you don't, leave the one ride with a stop with about $100 profit. That would put your stop at around 94.37. So put your stop at 94.37. You're in a market that trades very, very actively. And guess what, folks? You're in risk-free. How does it be when you're risk-free? It's a good feeling anytime you can do that. That's for sure. Okay, let's move on here to another one, and we're going to have a lot of fun when we do the day trading thing on the 20th of September. Happens to be my sainted mother's birthday, who I lost. She was 48 years old when she died, and that was not a happy boy. I was only 32, so it was we grew up together. All right, let's move on here to the next one as we move on. And let's get on here to one other thing. Okay, I can't find it. Okay, we have a question about the Treasury bonds. I've already posted the chart on the bonds, but I wanted to get one other thing. Oh, dear, that's not the one I wanted. Just give me a second. Get it up here, cowboy. Get it up here. I want to bring the notes up because the notes are where the problem lies. That's the larger of the contracts. This is the up-to-date version because these things have been going down ever since we hit the 382 2 weeks ago up here. That was, you can see, that was the 135 pattern. There's the 382 off of that high right here. Folks, here's where they were trying to feed. Remember, this is the weekly. Here's where they were feeding us the old cannon fodder and tapioca about negative interest rates. Give us your money. We'll take good care of you. Yeah, right. Well, the government's going to probably try to do that again with the Graham-Dodd bill, but I don't know how they're going to work that out, whether it's going to be with cryptocurrencies or whatever. I'm not sure, but that's neither here nor there. So anyway, that's why this Treasury note and Treasury bond markets are so very, very negative. They came into a situation where, they were having a whole lot of trouble. And from that level, they've come down quite a bit. People realize that maybe, we've seen what's happened to mortgage rates. I mean, mortgage rates, 2.5 to 5.5. You think that's not hard to buy a house when your mortgage rate is 3 times as much? Hello, operator. I mean, how hard do you have to figure that one out? And look at the price of lumber, folks. The lumber price is absolutely, it's really dropping. I mean, they're not building. 877-927-6648. Billy Ray for TFNN. We'll be back after we pay a few bills.
Vista Gold owns and operates the largest undeveloped gold project in Australia, the Mount Todd Gold Project. Vista Gold just completed their feasibility study, resulting in a 7 million ounce gold reserve. Vista Gold has all major permits approved and has retained CIBC capital market assistance in evaluating alternatives and in completing an accretive transaction. Vista Gold trades on the NYSE American and TSX under the ticker symbol VGZ. Vista Gold, executing a strategy to create shareholder value.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, folks, the topic has jumped up, and something that I love to talk about, and that is he is taking his wife to Saratoga Racetrack on Sunday for the races, and he wanted to know what he should look for. Well, you want to find out who are the 3 best jockeys and who's winning the most there. I can tell you right now that it'll be Louis Saez, S-I-E-Z. It'll be Flavien Prat, P-A-P-L-A-T, and also Joel Rosario. Look at those 3 jockeys and watch for them in races 7, 8, 9, and 10 if they're running at a long shot. In other words, 10 to 1 or better. That gives you a payout. If you bet on the favorites, sure, the favorites win 80% of the time, but you bet $2, you get back $2.40 to $2.80. That's not going to change your style of living. You know, you want one like we had on the week or so ago when our good friend from Del Mar called in, where his wife had won $4,000. So watch those 3 jockeys. And we have one of those going on today, folks. And we'll follow through with it tomorrow. By the way, you should be out of your crude oil now. at your break-even price, so you're not going to lose anything. Whether you took profits or not, I don't know. But in the 10th race today, number 9, and we're going to look at that tomorrow because it has all of the earmarks of what I want. It's one of the best jockeys riding a long shot in the 10th race. There's things that are happening to the horse. They've changed to put him on blinkers, so you got unknown there, and not only that, but the trainers kept this horse out for a while, resting him, so he could be ready to go. All I know is a 10-to-1 payout is a lot better than even money, and that's what we try to stay away from. Same thing here in trading. Stay away from even money. Okay, now we got the end of the show coming up, so live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless. I'll be doing a show for Tom O'Brien at 3 o'clock. I'm going to add some new material, have some stocks in there, and some foreign currencies. But live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless. And we'll see you on the flip side tomorrow. Stan Harley is our guest on Friday. We'll be right back, folks, tomorrow on the show.